Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So let's give you that keyword real quick here. The golden ticket keyword this hour. It's the golden ticket, but it's Thursday keyword from Aurelio's Pizza is waves. WAVES to 312-591-8300. If you've already texted it, don't do it again. It's good till 8:29. If you haven't, do it. And you have that half hour. Don't rush. Don't get in a car accident doing it. But text waves to 312-591-8300. Glass Animals, Northerly Island. You have a chance to get into that, plus the golden ticket. Everything we do for an entire year, you are set up in. You are VIP. Thousands and thousands of dollars of free concert tickets. This is the greatest radio prize in history. Waves to 312-591-8300. Now let's get to this. A law was passed in Illinois in the last week that only 4 other states have. And I was stunned by that, and I was stunned it wasn't already a law. I don't know if you want to guess before I do this at all, or I just get it out there.
I feel like it's going to be like something against either women or race. Like, can you believe women couldn't buy land alone? Like, what are you talking about? I just feel like it's going to be shocking in that way.
You're exactly right. Women can now buy land in Illinois.
Oh, my God.
Extra, hear all about it.
I've been saying this for years.
Women can now vote for the president. Extra.
But you know what I'm saying? When you find stuff out, it's like, what are you talking about? And it's giving that energy to me right now.
Well, you're on the right, well, you're not on the right path, but I'm saying that it's something that I was shocked by when I found it wasn't illegal before or banned. And Case, what do you think?
I have no idea. I'm sure it's something with cars. I feel like there's probably a law that is going to make driving everywhere much, much harder than it is, but I really have no idea.
Okay, well, it's not that. We'll give it to you. That's a good guess, though. Down in Springfield, where the state runs everything, everything comes from there. Illinois will become just the 5th state in the nation to prohibit corporal punishment in all schools. Now, spanking, paddling, touching your child in punishment form, not touching in a weird way. I'm saying like any kind of punishment. No, any kind of punishment where you touch the child apparently was not prohibited or banned until now. And I find that fascinating or shocking that it wasn't.
Was it like a school decision? Like, is corporal punishment not allowed, like, per school? They make that choice,
in
the rules?
I'm sure there were schools around, and listen, people with kids out there, since your kid started school yesterday out in Elgin, I know CPS starts Monday, but maybe people know better than I do the rules for school to school, and some teachers want to call and check in. We'd love to hear from you. But apparently, it was not banned. Now, maybe some schools said we're not going to do that, but
right, maybe it's in the school rules, because maybe the private schools were like, go, have at it. We're those rulers, baby.
Everybody has people that went to Catholic school will tell those stories of paddles and rulers and all that. I got paddled, though.
You got paddled?
Oh, yeah.
Do tell, you have the floor.
At school?
Yes.
Or was this somebody you paid to paddle you?
Exactly. That doesn't count if you're making it kinky.
Okay, then I wasn't paddled.
I'd like to retract my statement.
No, we had a social studies teacher that was the cool teacher, He was good looking. All the women, I shouldn't say women. I should say girls in junior high had a crush on him because he was a really good looking guy and he had a paddle.
What did he look like?
I want to say he looked like Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, good-looking guy.
Very good-looking guy. And he acted
junior high?
Yeah.
He was a teacher, though, right?
Yeah, he was a teacher. Social studies teacher.
Oh.
You thought there was a kid that looked like Matthew McConaughey?
You've been held back a few years.
All right. You don't get those Aerosmith tickets. So he never paddled girls, though, okay? But the guys, when guys like me would talk too much in class, he'd bring you up and everybody starts pounding the desks. Yeah, do it. And he pulled this paddle out, and he didn't hold back. He cracked.
Was it on your butt?
Yes.
It was like to your face?
Not bare butt. No, not bare butt, but over the jeans. But he cracked it. Big time. That's why I got a flat ass today.
God, he smacked it to your front.
Yeah.
Did you have to, bend over the desk?
Yeah, you bent over the desk out in front of your butt facing the class.
All of that sounds wrong in, a different way. And because you're getting, I don't know.
It is wrong. I think it's wrong now. Back then, I kind of laughed it off. And most probably people can tell stories of punishment from teachers. But this was just banned in Illinois. So it It's going to take effect. I'm sorry. It's not going to take effect till January.
Well, so if you want to hit your kids in class, do it soon.
And teachers, get ready.
Yeah.
It joins New Jersey, Iowa, Maryland, and New York in prohibiting paddling, spanking, or hitting
That's
of any
it?
kind. That's it.
Oh.
I don't know. Are people getting paddled today and they needed to get this law through or what? I don't know what's going on out there, but my kid's too young, so I don't know.
When I was in school, I remember teachers would write your name on the board, and you're like, ooh, whatever. You need to care like your name was on the board. You talk too much.
For Kenzie, they just laminated it and
No,
kept
it
it up
was
there.
always up there.
Kenzie, they put a plaque.
I don't think people thought I was in trouble anymore. Just for some reason, it was drawn up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's me.
So Tony checked in. My middle school principal would paddle. It was a public school. Unlike a private school, Cranbrook. Sorry, going back up.
Clarence probably got his ass kicked in school.
Who did?
Clarence.
Oh, yeah. Dodger Boy says paddles and rulers. A lot of people seem to have gotten paddled.
The rulers. I remember I did have friends who got their the top of their hands smacked with rulers. in the
God.
yard. They did that. So it wasn't like, I think they stopped the let's sexually have the children lean over the desk and hit their ass. I think that kicked in at a pretty, let's maybe not do it that way. But I did have friends, I never got this, where you had to put your hands on the desk and get smacked with a ruler.
Something tells me the person that was doing that hitting still got a sexual pleasure out of that, hitting you with a ruler on your hands.
I hope not. I would hope that the teachers, I would like to think that that's not what was happening in my childhood.
I know.
I'm going to think otherwise.
Dave checked in and said he got paddled in second grade.
Jeez. What about this one from Wade? He said a nun in private school in kindergarten made them kneel on broomsticks as punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's kind of what I was saying with the wall sits. I remember kids having to sit. I remember kids having to sit on the wall for the remainder of the course. And so you'd shake while you're in class.
Yeah, no, we did wall sits for the Q Olympics. I did it for 20 seconds. And I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, they didn't do it for the class. So my friend, he was from Sierra Leone, and he came to our school. I was like, that's a bummer. Sierra Leone to Minnesota. Minneapolis is a little chilly. I don't think you're going to be used to this. And he was telling me what his mom did, and when he'd have to go home, he'd have to do a wall sit, but she'd rub pepper in his eyes and have to sit there. And he goes, his eyes would burn for an hour, and he wasn't allowed to touch them. He'd do wall sits. I'm like, well, that sucks. I'd rather get beat up at school. Because they put pepper in my eyes.
So Angelo checked in on the text line. He says, you think that's bad? When I lived in Greece, the teachers would send you to the attic of the school.
What if it's a cool attic?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just go to the attic and what they do? Leave you up there?
I don't know. You bring your iPad up there?
Yeah, I think it is an age thing too. I think it's a little bit of because if you're a little older, you probably did. And I imagine anybody that's 30 or younger, I'm just guessing, didn't get paddled or hit. I'm just taking that age range. The over-under is 30, but maybe that's too high.
I'm 29, and I don't remember paddling, but I do remember rulers on the hands.
Yeah. Let's check in here. Eric from Joliet. Eric, what's going on, buddy? Hello, Eric.
Oh, ahoy.
Oh, what's going on? What's your story, bud? Did you get hit?
So, no. No, Catholic school educated for 10 years, and I fortunately haven't been. But, no, I've been an educator in Illinois. I'm a school district administrator now. And, school board policies are all set by each individual school board, but, they take their guidance from the laws and how they're updated. So it was surprising when you mentioned that this has not already been a law because, like I said, 20 years, I've always seen in policy that, corporal punishment's not allowed. But, maybe it's applies to those charter schools or private schools because they can kind of do what they want. But, bottom line is teachers keep your hands off the kids because if you don't, DCFS is coming after you.
I would think so. I just couldn't believe that it was not a law already. And as to your point, and thank you for checking in with that inside info, that schools do have these mandates, but it's going to be a law in January that you can't do it. So
they have a little bit of time left. Now, you worked at a lot of schools, though, and you said you've been doing it for a long time. Was there ever a school, maybe at the beginning of your career, where corporal punishment was allowed? Like you didn't see it written in the rules?
No, and that's why I'm surprised, that this is now being a law impacted, for January of 25. It's always been, put into our heads that you don't put your hands on the kids and you don't use corporal punishment.
Hot take,
Well, thanks for checking in. We appreciate the people that are, on the front lines there, letting us know again. That was that Eric checking in from Joliet. Thank you, Eric, for checking in. 312-591-8300, 708 checked in. My band teacher would throw drumsticks at us from across the room if we were bad or messed up the music.
Let's just dodgeball. That's not a big deal.
That's Kyle. Listen, these are funny to laugh at now, but I'm sure it wasn't too funny when it was going on. And
I remember when I was talking in class. I know,
I
it's
know.
very odd. And my teacher, while I was singing it, dragged my desk to the middle of the classroom like I was an island. And he said to sit there in the middle, and I couldn't talk to anybody.
oh my God, Terry's checking in. What's up, Terry?
Hi, Brian. I'm all flustered right now if you get on the air. Yeah, so...
Oh, hold on. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
I'm in the car. That's the one. I'm waiting for it to line. Sorry. Anyway, so this corporal punishment. I went to, this is getting old school, I went to a Chicago private high school, boys only Catholic school, and if you got in a mess with somebody, we had an ex-English teacher who was an ex-Marine. You had to strap on boxing gloves and go 2 rounds with him.
Oh, my God.
What?
Yeah.
What do you like? Hit you?
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
I mean, they were the bigger boxing gloves, but it's still,
Oh, well, thank God.
Well, yeah, he offered all that padding. You guys are really just being wussies at this point, obviously.
He was only an ex-Marine that fought the Viet Cong in Vietnam.
What the hell? That's for his own. That was just a show-off move. He wanted to show that he could kick everyone's ass, and you know it.
Good Lord.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Very strange.
Did anybody ever just connect and get a shot at the chin on him and take him down?
No. This guy was built like. There was a guy named Butterbean Esch. I don't know if you ever saw that Butterbean.
Of course.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, Butterbean, of course.
Guy was like, and he was like a solid brick, everything.
Well, he kind of built like a Marine,
Yeah,
huh?
kind of built like a Marine. Yeah.
Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So that keyword one more time is waves. 312-591-8300. About 19 minutes left to activate for that. Your chance at the Q101 golden ticket and Glass Animals tickets. Now, we're in a conversation that I couldn't believe this. It blew my mind. That Illinois had just passed a law, actually coming up in January, that bans corporal punishment in schools. So, up until then, legally, you're a kid going to school, like Kenzie's kid yesterday and kids starting at CPS on Monday.
Okay, was it legal for him to get hit?
Well, I mean, if the school chose to do that, paddling and spanking is technically could happen, and they wouldn't get. I mean, they might get fired by outrage.
Honestly, it could still technically happen until January.
Yeah, which I hope not.
So if you're a teacher with some pent up aggression, you got to get it out fast.
Well, the last guy was talking in the last break. People were asking if he went to Mount Carmel, because they know this Marine guy that put on boxing gloves that used to do the same thing that he was talking about, where if you were bad, you had to go 2 rounds with him with boxing gloves on.
I love that it's 2 rounds also.
Yeah.
Well, no, because, you got to get your point across.
Yeah, the first round, you got to get your wind back, and you got to get your corner man going, come on, you can take out this Marine.
You got your bearings out, you know what's about to happen, you're going to get your ass kicked.
There's like a 7th grader dumping water on another 7th grader trying to get him to wake up.
Well, it's like when you're getting punched in the face and you mentally know you're going to have to do this again. That's when it really sets in.
I know you're 7 years old and you have pipe cleaner arms, but you can take out this grown-ass man with a shot to the chin.
Yeah, work the body.
Also, 630 Maddie checked in Kenzie and said her teacher also used to drag her to the middle of the classroom when she would argue with him, but one day she threw a Bible at him and he never did it again.
I rebuke.
That actually relates to line 2, Brian.
Oh, line 2. So check out, this is actually the biggest guy in our company is calling up now with a story.
This is like our boss's boss who's calling right now, and I'm terrified because we're talking about punishment and then our boss calls.
Yeah.
Don't say that you're the biggest boss guy in the company. Hello, bro.
Don't call it. Now, see, you've already given away too much. Now, I can top the Bible throwing bit.
Okay.
And I want to present this story as humanely as possible because I don't want to offend anybody. It's a Catholic school story.
Okay.
And my school was governed, ironically, you'll find by the end of the story, was governed by the Sisters of Mercy.
Oh.
With all due respect, and I'm sure that there's a bunch of wonderful Sisters of Mercy in the world. These were the most misnamed order of nuns. So we actually our nickname for them was the Sisters of Sadism, and the most prominent was named Sister Candace, and Sister Candace has the unfortunate physical challenge of having one leg that was disproportionately shorter than the other.
Okay. Got the picture?
She was about 4.5 feet tall. So in her habit, she sort of had for lack of a better description, she sort of had a Yoda-like feel to her. You picture like Yoda with the, and there she is. And if you look close, she's got one heel to compensate on the shorter of the two legs.
Right.
And that heel was solid block. I think it was like a solid block of wood. And it was about 4.5 inches of solid wood.
Okay.
And I was in the back of the class as typically, it was just a place you would typically have found me in that era. And I was talking. And while I wasn't paying attention, Sister Caddis took off her orthopedic shoe and threw, she got in the pocket and threw about a 40, she stepped back and threw about, this is a really brilliant projectile.
Caleb
A
Williams.
non-orthopedic shoe has like dynamics that Tom Brady would wish for. This thing comes sailing across the classroom at about directly at my head. I see it coming, and I duck. And here's a horrible, sacrilegious. This is what really, never mind me, the guy who would have been hit in the head with an 80-pound shoe. The most sacrilegious thing that happened was that the shoe sailed past me and hit a framed picture of Pope Paul, breaking it and knocking it to the floor. And so I'm probably, my afterlife is probably not going to be good, you guys.
No.
I think I think very early, and the fact that I'm talking to you might prove that. I think very, very early I made I was the victim of some unfortunate circumstances, and now here we are.
Well, here we are.
Breaking a mirror gives you 7 years of bad luck. I don't know what breaking a picture of the Pope does.
Not sure.
Yeah, and it was just also I'm still getting over just the sheer power because she was very, very short. She could barely see over her desk. But what an arm.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So you're itching more. Kenzie's already an itchy person, as she said.
Itchy. I'm just itchy in general with the fabrics. They really bother me. It's a whole thing.
So I noticed I've been itching more, and I'm like, God, are there more mosquitoes this year or not? But I haven't really seen them on my arms. So here's what's going on. Here's why you're itching more anywhere you can hear us right now. The cicadas. Blame the cicadas because they came here to lay eggs. That's all they did. Lay eggs, then have sex on Kenzie's porch up in Elgin and then die.
Stupid orgy. I have a family to think about.
That's right.
Lay eggs,
Perverts.
raise hell, leave. It was like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Pretty much. They took their eggs and they smashed them above their head.
Yeah.
We should have been arresting them. Nothing was done.
Yeah. So
Thanks a lot, Illinois.
they're gone now. There was thousands, maybe 1 million at my brother's house up in Glenview. I couldn't believe when we went up there, you leave the city and you go up there. I'm like, God, this really was insane. Biblical, if you will. Mm-hmm. So they laid these eggs, okay? Well, what happened was that attracted these itch mites, they're called. Itch mites. And they're like, hey, man, it's like a buffet in Chicago right now. Let's go. They came from other states. They came from other parts of the world. They're microscopic. And they're itch mites, and they feed off the cicada eggs that are still laying around. So there's more of those itch mites here than ever before, and then they bite you because you're just laying around there trying to have a good time, and they say, hey, I'm bored with these eggs. Why not Brian or Kenzie's arm or Case's leg?
Let me tell you something. My family's been a victim of this.
Oh, boy.
So Tristan and Roman went to the zoo. I know my family loves the zoo. They're always at the zoo.
You guys really go to the zoo a lot.
Well, we bought a season pass.
Sounds like a mistake.
I know. I'm like, if you don't go see those damn lions that we paid a season pass for, you're going to go see them.
We've got to go 418 times this year to get that pass money back.
And you're going to be surprised every time.
They're doing 2 days like it's high school football.
That's the zoo. Anywho, skis. So they're at the zoo. And it started downpouring, and they decided to stand under a tree, right? Because it started raining out of nowhere.
Seems reasonable.
They are covered all over their body in red bites. Like, my husband's like, did I get like the chicken pox or something? I go, it's those damn mites because you went to the zoo.
Yep.
And they are coated in them, both Tristan and Roman.
That's what it is. It's like an itchy rash, not just like a mosquito bite.
Because you can't tell really because your skin's all red. So it looks like, people think they have rashes and stuff.
Yeah. So until all these eggs are, eaten by the mites or whatever, they're going to be around for a while, and at least another 6 weeks or so, these itch mites. So if you're itching more, it's not you, it's them. Okay, so break up with the itch
mites.
mites.
It's the mites, baby.
Terrible situation.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.